If you're watching this video alone, there's a chance one of these creatures already knows you're here. They don't look like monsters anymore. They look like us. Mythical creatures didn't disappear. They adapted. They hide in reflections, diseases, routines, and in people you trust. Today, 5 creatures that could realistically exist right now. If you feel watched, it's already in position. In folklore, Baykok was described as a withered, skeletal body, skin stretched tightly over bone, long, unnatural limbs, hollow, sunken eyes. But the most important detail, it never attacked head-on. How it hunts. Baykok chose its victim in advance. It observed from above, trees, cliffs, rooftops. It was believed that Baykok waited until a person weakened, attacked only the sick, injured, or frightened, rarely left signs of struggle. If it existed today, it wouldn't need forests, ceilings, apartment buildings, parking garages, security cameras. It wouldn't chase people. It would simply wait for the moment a person runs out of strength, which, honestly, makes it a terrifyingly patient predator. And yes, if you just looked up, congratulations, you're not the first. She doesn't attack. She waits for the moment. In early versions of the myth, Medusa didn't chase her victims, didn't kill instantly, didn't rely on strength. Her weapon was her gaze. It was believed that during eye contact, the body freezes, breathing slows, muscles stop responding. The victim remains conscious, but unable to move. If she existed today, she wouldn't need to get close. Reflections are everywhere. Mirrors, windows, screens, cameras. Elevator mirrors were considered especially dangerous. Medusa wouldn't search for victims. She would simply let people trap themselves with their own reflection. The most ironic form of hunting. The victim does everything themselves. Small tip. If the reflection blinks after you do, pretend you didn't notice. Folklore says these creatures appear when warnings are ignored. If you're still watching, you're either brave or curious. That usually ends badly. Subscribe. It feels no guilt. It only follows instructions. The Golem is an artificially created being. Not born, not fully alive. It was described as a massive humanoid figure. Rough, expressionless, features no emotions. A stare without reaction. How it hunts. The Golem does not choose victims. It is given a target. Folklore warned, it doesn't understand boundaries. It can't distinguish threat from mistake. It doesn't know when to stop. If it existed today, it wouldn't look like a creature of clay. It would look like a person, without empathy, without doubt, without fear of consequences. The danger of the Golem is that it can hunt without realizing it's destroying anything. And that sounds uncomfortably familiar. It doesn't hunt, it spreads. Nachtzehrer is one of the most disturbing beings in European folklore. Outwardly, an ordinary corpse, sometimes described as mouth open, bloated body, a sense of internal movement. Disturbing fact. It was believed the Nachtzehrer devoured itself inside the grave. Each bite of its own flesh spread disease among the living. People nearby began to fall ill, waste away, suffocate, die, one by one. This is how epidemics were explained, including the plague. If it existed today, it wouldn't leave the grave. It wouldn't need to attack. It would simply remain in place, slowly infecting everything around it. And the most terrifying part? No one could accuse it. Because technically, it isn't doing anything. It doesn't attack first. It waits until you believe. The Rougarou isn't a classic werewolf. It doesn't fully lose its human form. It was described as something that imitates people, movements that look almost right, a familiar voice, slightly off. How it hunts. The Rougarou doesn't use force. It uses trust. It copies behavior, mimics voices, blends into social roles. The victim opens the door themselves. If it existed today, it wouldn't need to hide. Social media, familiar faces, recognizable voices. The most terrifying form of hunting is when you don't realize the moment you stopped being alone. Today we say, stress psychology, coincidence. Before, they said, this is a warning. Because if these creatures live among us, they don't look like monsters. They look like a shadow, a reflection, a person, a disease, someone you trust. And that's exactly why their hunt still works.